Now that we have an assembled coilover, we're going to talk about how to lower the car on this. They're very much the same process to selecting a ride height as you would with Pro S, with two unique differences. Again, this is more of a competitive product that's born and bred on the racetrack. These features have just recently become more affordable for the consumer. This is stuff that you would really not find on a normal car, or even a car loaded with aftermarket parts. You have the ability to preload the spring. This is of course lowering it, but once you actually start to take this spanner or this perch and move it upward, you're actually compressing the spring. That means that you're putting force on the spring before the vehicle's ever even put on the ground. We all know that once you lower a car, there's a certain amount of sag or droop. The spring will compress itself to a certain point. You can do that before you ever put the car on the ground. Most people, I would just simply suggest that you take a lot of the free play or slack out of the lower perch so that the spring is hard to move, but not impossible to move. So that tells you that this point to this point, all the slack's taken up, the spring is under some load, and then you go ahead and spin the jam nut up towards the lower perch there, and you take the two wrenches that are included and you basically tighten them into each other. This is taking care of the spring portion. Now to adjust ride height, you do it entirely different from the Pro S counterpart. You know, the Pro S, you again have to play with the spring's position, which ultimately plays with the amount of travel you have. The Pro C, on the other hand, this is all a fixed position. You don't have to worry about, adversely affecting, suspension travel, or worrying about the suspension bottoming out as a result of the selected drop. The drop is actually achieved through an entirely different point. Remember, this point is fixed on the Pro S or on your standard shocks. So once this is actually put in place, this is what's going to determine your ride height. This is fixed, however, the body of the shock is not. The body of the shock is allowed to actually thread into the perch, and you've got about 3 inches worth of play. I believe we can actually thread this thing all the way up to the point where it bottoms out against the actual spring perch. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, pretty close. So anyhow, this is about a 4.5 inch drop from what I've measured on my car. I don't drive my car this way. I couldn't even turn, but it does go to show that the flexibility of the shock is there. So now you're able to raise and lower your car independent of actual suspension travel. This is huge. A lot of people in rural areas or areas where road conditions are just horrible, we get a lot of complaints saying that a combination like this, or maybe even a lowering spring and shock absorber combination, have a tendency to bottom out. Shock failures are high, and just overall ride comfort is horrible. This wasn't necessarily a solution. The Pro C isn't a solution for good ride comfort. It is, again, a race product. The spring combinations that we include with these are more aggressive than what you'll find on the Pro S's, and ultimately so because you're able to play with the dampening curve. On 92 through 2000 Civics, we include a 10K and 8K combo. 10K springs in the front, 8K springs in the rear. You would think that that's a pretty stiff combination, but on my car, which has gone through quite a bit of weight reduction, I've taken a lot of stuff out of it. The car still handles extremely well. Very, very smooth ride. If I hit potholes or bumps, I don't even feel them, and that's mainly due to the fact that I still have the full travel of the suspension, and I get the desired drop because you're manipulating the ride height through an entirely different point. So those are the two coilovers that we currently offer. If there's any questions regarding these two products, you can feel free to give us a call or visit us on the website. We have a help desk. The website address is www.skunk2.com. Thank you very much.